Welcome to Fate of the Norns. We're talking about RGS today.
You will know me as Skull the Norn.
I'm with Lennard, Ken, and we're going to rock it. So, we're going to talk about RGS. Lennard has experience running RGS. Ken has experience playing RGS.
In case people don't know what RGS stand for, Lennard will tell you.
Runic Game System.
Bam!
2.0.
So it's the fundamental rules behind the all of the gaming in Fate of the Norns. It's very different from other role-playing games in that you don't use dice, which is the first thing that you have to get used to when you jump into the system, which means that there's no random chance once your turn has started. Using a system that's more similar to card games, where you draw random runes from your pile, and then you have access to them, but there is no random effect necessarily.
The randomness is on your actions, your possibilities, rather than whether you succeed or you fail, right?
Fate of the Norns, instead of rolling a d20 and seeing if you hit your opponent, you simply declare actions to hit them and bonus actions to hit them harder and so on. And as opposed to other systems where you might then miss, in this one you do succeed. In order for your opponents to avoid damage, they'll have to block, they'll have to dodge. So there's a lot more control given to the individual player, whereas relying on rolling crits and praying that you don't roll low, right here it feels like both players are in much more control, and the strategy comes from how do you best play your limited hand.
There are two major attributes in RGS. The first one is essence, which is everything that you are. Your life force, your memories, abilities, skills, and powers. And mechanically that translates to the number of runes you're going to have in your bag. Then there's destiny. Destiny is the effect that you can cause on the world around you. And mechanically that's the number of runes you draw from your bag. To buy an essence costs 1 level. To buy a destiny costs 2 levels. And when you start out in Ragnarok, you're not starting out at levels 1, 2, and 3. You know, that's reserved for the peons of the world. You're a hero. You're ready to kick some butt right from the start. So you're going to be starting around levels 8 through 12. That's a good starting point for a hero in Ragnarok. And you're going to spend levels to buy essence and destiny. So you can customize how many runes you're going to have in your bag and how many runes you're going to draw from your bag. One of them is your actions, which is what you draw. And the runes in your bag are your life force, your skills, and abilities. So you can have more and less of the other, or vice versa, or well balanced. Yeah. There's really no pro and con.
Can you have a bag full of room with no destiny? So you can be like a tank? Is that a possibility? Or
you'd probably want to go 1 destiny, so you have a chance to draw your abilities. As a player, you do have a void rune, which we'll get into later, which is what specializes you in your archetype. Yeah, that's a very valid build. Like, some people are going to say, you know what, I want a lot of abilities. I don't care my chances at drawing them. Yeah. Because I'm relying on, passive powers. So it's not really on what I draw.
There's also a lot of, characters that want lots of health so that they can get in deep, right? So if you were playing things like Ulfenars or Berserkers with Rage is an ability we'll talk about later, but it benefits from taking a lot of damage. And you can't take a lot of damage if you don't have a lot of essence.
Exactly.
So if you want to have a few runes and always draw them every single turn, that's great and all, but you are going to start losing access to those abilities through taking damage way faster.
Exactly. So if you were like 5 Destiny, 5 Essence, that's like a level 20 character. Here are the problems. As soon as you take a single point of damage, you're no longer even drawing 5.
Nope.
15.
Yes, 15. We're not good at the math, are we?
Here in Fate of the Norns, we don't do math.
Math didn't exist back then, okay?
That's why the Berserkers are described as having the strength of twice 4 men. Who can't higher than 4.
This many.
This many.
Logar this strong.
We go more than this, but we can't count more than 10.
Exactly.
This is 10.
But
so level 15, right? So 5 Essence, 5 Destiny. I mean, you're thinking 5 Essence, 5 Destiny, that seems optimal, right? Oh, you're pulling out all your abilities. Your chance of not pulling an ability is 0.
And then I poke you.
Exactly. I lose a rune.
You dead.
Now you can draw 5 runes out of your 4. That starts to feel a little bit more pointless, right?
Exactly.
That's awkward.
Yeah. So, I mean, every single extreme strategy has a lot of cases that kind of disprove it. And then that whole gamut in the middle, everyone's got their own theory craft on which one's the best.
But please do not build 5 Destiny and 2 in your bag, because then you would draw 2 no matter what. So don't do that, guys.
We call that the Ken build.
That's the build. I thought I could draw the same rune twice. I'd be like, put it back in my bag. I have 8 of the same. Come on.
We'll change the rules for you.
Ah, yeah.
Sounds like my kind of barbarian.
Hey, my
How many
kind-
mental runes are in your bag, Ken? None?
One.
That brings us to the colors for the runes. There are 3 colors on the runes, and you got red, blue, and green runes. And we're going to do a parallel to like D&D. Everyone's played D&D. You've got your attributes like strength, intelligence, dexterity. In Ragnarok, rather than have like 6 different attributes, we call them traits, and there's 3. Red runes are physical, blue runes are mental, green runes are spiritual. The more that you have of a certain type, the better you are.
PMS for short.
Hey.
You'll remember
that.
You want to have a nice healthy balance of PMS in your rune
You
bag.
don't need to be balanced. You can have more P, a little more M.
Well, there is a
S.
mechanic that's actually going to save those dumb brutes. You could make your character with, let's say, 6 red runes, no blue runes, no green runes. And what you can do is morph runes. You can take 2 runes of a certain color, change them for a rune of another color that you need. And that can bring us to the skills, skill checks.
Right.
That's
so
some good transitioning there.
Instead of just rolling a die and trying to see if you beat a target number with certain benefits, in this one, there's going to still be a target number, but every player is going to draw their runes, and it's going to either be a physical, mental, or spiritual check. For the
And that
most
depends
part,
on how you describe it.
and how you describe how you decide to like take on the challenge. Take
Exactly.
On the skill check.
Like one of the examples that I use in conventions very often is, I walk into a room, I scan the room, I'm looking for a key that's hidden in this room. The way I described it, that'd be like a mental check, because I'm looking to see if there's anything out of place. Same character can walk into that same room and say, you know what, I scanned the room, but I beat up the walls, I cut the mattresses, I break the furniture. You're ransacking the room.
Yeah, to look for it.
And that's going to be a physical perception check rather than a mental perception check. So the system's kind of built to coax out the narrative out of players. So rather than just a mechanical, all right, I'm going to do a perception check, boom, I roll. The system is not going to do anything for you until you describe how you want to do something. And then we're going to say, okay, that check is going to be on X trait.
It's way more descriptive and way more fun. You're reacting and you're part of the scenario, which is really neat.
Well, yeah, Fate of the Norns is about giving control to the player, and we're trying to limit the random effects, right? Because everyone has those horrible moments, which can be funny, but everyone has that moment where you really just wanted to make a damn skill check and you still roll a 1, a 2, a 3, or 4. That's infuriating. I mean, there's nothing epic about running up to the bad guy and missing him. Like, that's, like, great.
There is worse.
That's so much fun.
What about an adventure where the party needs to find that map and they all fail their search check and the DM's sitting there going like,
All right,
how am I going to continue the story now?
I guess you find it anyways.
Yeah.
There's a lot of limitations to the purely random element of dice, which can spike in a positive way, but this by allowing players to know exactly how much control that they feel that they can like have on the world and the adventure really means that
It's how you succeed rather than if you succeed.
Which is what Fate of the Norns is all about. It's about telling a great story, which at the root of every role-playing game exists, but in Fate of the Norns it really is built into the gameplay.